Do you know the answer to the question, what is the most dangerous animal in the world? You might think a gorilla, a lion, or even a tiny mosquito that kills over 1 million people a year. But let me enlighten you. The most dangerous animal is a man that got nothing to lose. A man who has lost everything will do whatever it takes, no matter the pain. Max Payne is a game that tells this exact story. A man who once has everything suddenly lost it all. His beloved wife, his job, his best friend, and his newborn child were all taken from him. At that time, Remedy Entertainment was a relatively unknown game studio with only one game under its belt, Death Rally. This game served as a ticket, allowing their publisher 3D Realms to release a second version of the game. But Remedy had different ideas. Seeing the success of Duke Nukem 3D in '96 and Tomb Raider, they decided to combine these elements and create a third-person shooter. It was a rare genre in 1996 as computers were just beginning to introduce 3D graphics in games like Fade to Black and Virtuoso. Despite these challenges, Remedy wanted to stand out. They could have made a first-person shooter just like Duke Nukem or something similar to Tomb Raider, but they chose to innovate. This decision was difficult, leading to budget issues and the need to develop new technologies from scratch. Remedy had to economize and prove themselves since they were still relatively unknown in the gaming market. Before making games, they created 3D benchmarks for testing computer hardware, so they knew hardware well and used the knowledge to create a new engine for Max Payne. When Max Payne released, its graphics were top-notch, featuring breaking objects, realistic lighting, and detailed gun flashes. Remedy utilized all the knowledge to create this game on their proprietary engine. Despite the budget constraints, they couldn't afford to create in-game cutscenes to tell the story, but they wanted the narrative to be the strong point of the game. This limitation sparked creativity, leading them to tell a story using comic book-style panels with voiceovers. They used filtered photos of the staff and every family member they could instead of drawing them, adding a unique touch to the game's presentation. Although they were skilled developers, Remedy still was a small team. Building everything from scratch took a long time. It took them nearly 5 years to develop Max Payne, a considerable amount of time back then when games were released annually like Tomb Raider series. The team felt immense pressure from the publisher due to long development time, but they believed in the grandeur of their work and were determined to see it through, no matter how long it took. This decision was risky for the publisher, as significant money had been invested in the game production and marketing. To save money, Remedy used their staff for voice acting and the comic book style photos, including the main character face, modeled after the game writer Sam Lake, while the main villain was portrayed by Lake's mother. They even used anyone available, like the person who refilled coffee machines, as the mobster's face. However, they decided that main character's voice should be professional, so they hired James McCaffrey to add a touch of professionalism to their story-based shooter. If you haven't played Max Payne yet, I recommend doing it, because it is a great story. From now on, it's going to be spoilers. Imagine you're Max Payne, a former NYPD cop turned DEA agent, and your life, well, it's been thrown into absolute chaos. Your wife and daughter are murdered by junkies high on a new drug called Valkyr, and you're framed for killing your partner. 3 years later, Max Payne works undercover in the Punchinello crime family to investigate kill trafficking. While doing that, he arranged a meeting with his DEA colleague Alex Boulder in the subway station. While waiting, Max is caught in a shootout with a mobster staging a bank robbery. When Alex arrives, he is suddenly killed by an unseen assassin who's framed Max for the murder, forcing him to go on the run from both the police and the mob. Determined to take down the people responsible for his family's death, Max delves into New York's criminal underworld to find Vinny Goniti, hoping he will lead him to Jack Lupino, a key figure to the Punchinello crime family. Along the way, Max uncovers a war between the Russian mobster Vladimir Lem and the Punchinello family, breaking up the Valkyrie drug deal in the process. After capturing Goniti and learning the Lupino's location, Max kills him, but soon betrayed by Mona Sachs, an assassin seeking revenge against her brother-in-law Don Angelo Punchinello. Mona drugs Max with Valkyrie, leading him into a nightmare state about his family's murder. Captured and tortured by mobsters, Max managed to escape. Max teams up with Lem, who tips him off about a shipment of high-powered weapons at the Brooklyn waterfront intended for Punchinello. Securing the weapons, Max sets a trap for Don, but he is being ambushed. Escaping with his life, Max storms Punchinello's manor and confronts the Don, only to discover that Punchinello is just another pawn in the large conspiracy. Mercenaries overrun the manor, killing Punchinello and leaving Max to dead after injecting him with Valkyrie. After surviving another drug-induced nightmare, Max tracks the mercenaries to the old steel foundry, where he discovers a hidden military research complex. He learns that Valkyrie is the result of the Valhalla Project military experiment to enchant soldiers, secretly restarted by Nicole Horn through her pharmacy company Assar. When Max's wife Michelle stumbled upon Assar's illegal experiment, Horn ordered the death of Max's family. Max escapes the bunker as Assar triggers a self-destruct protocol. Realizing that Bibi, his former ally, is on a Horn's payroll and frame him for Alex's murder, Max confronts him and kills Bibi in parking lot. Max is then approached by Alfred Woden, leader of a secret society called Inner Circle, who reveals Horn's involvement in the society and offers to clean Max's charges in exchange for killing Horn. After escaping an ambush by Horn's men, Max infiltrates Assar's headquarters. He encounters Mona again, who refused to kill him despite being hired by Horn. Mona is seemingly killed, but her body disappears. As Horn attempts to escape in a helicopter, Max sabotages the building's antenna, causing it to crash into the helicopter and killing Horn in the process. As the NYPD arrives, Max surrenders, knowing that Woden will ensure his protection. He is taken into custody, but a smile on his face indicates that he has finally achieved some measurable justice. What separated Max Payne from other games is the special ability called Bullet Time. When it came out, there were no games that did that before. It was this game's signature. This allowed him to slow down time during gunfights, giving him the advantage to see and dodge bullets while planning his next move. When you trigger bullet time, everything around Max slows down, but you can still aim and shoot in real time. This makes action more strategic, allowing to react quickly to enemies. Max starts the game with a simple 9mm pistol, but as you progress, he gets access to more powerful weapons like submachine guns, shotguns, and grenades. Some of those weapons can be used in both hands at the same time, letting Max shoot out more bullets but using up his ammo faster. To stay alive, Max needs to find and use painkillers, which works just like health packs. These can be found in different places throughout the game, such as in medicine cabinets, laying around various locations, or taking from enemies that he defeats. The enemies Max faces in the game aren't super smart on their own. Their actions are mostly controlled by the game programming. For example, when an enemy takes cover, runs away, or throws a grenade, it's because the game tells him to do so at a certain points. This means that while the game can be challenging, it's not because the enemies are thinking on their own, but because how the game is designed. As you play, you move through different levels in a straight line, meaning there is no much open world exploration. Sometimes you need to jump over obstacles or solve puzzles to keep going. The story of the game unfolds as Max talks to himself, thinking about what to do next. These thoughts help guide you through the game, telling you where to go and what to expect. The game offers different difficulty levels to challenge you in various ways. Basic level called Fugitive is a standard way to play, but if you want more challenge, you can try Hard Boiled, where Max takes more damage and there are fewer health and ammo supplies. Dead on Arrival is even tougher, limiting you to only 7 saves per chapter, so you need to think twice before saving your progress. There's also New York Minute, where you need to finish each chapter with a set time limit, adding more pressure to your gameplay. If you manage to complete the game on the hardest difficulty, Dead on Arrival, you unlock a special mode called The Last Challenge. In this mode, Max faces off against tough enemies in non-stop bullet time fight with limited resources. It is ultimate test of your skill and a great way to finish the game on a high note. On December 16, 2003, a special version of Max Payne was released on Game Boy Advance, created by Mobius Entertainment, which later became Rockstar Leeds. Since the Game Boy Advance isn't powerful as a computer or a console, this version of the game is different. Instead of being a 3D shooter, it used sprite graphics and is shown from an angled top-down view. However, the gameplay stayed pretty close to the original. The characters still have 3D-like graphics, and the story is the same. Some of the levels were left out. The game also kept many of the original comic-style story sections with voiceovers. In 2012, Max Payne was released for mobile devices like Android and iOS, called Max Payne Mobile. This version was direct port from the original PC game, so it kept the same story and gameplay, but with improved graphics. The iOS version came out first on April 13, while the Android version released late on June 14. This version of the game made possible for fans to enjoy Max Payne on the go, while all the excitement and drama of the original game now in the palms of their hands. In 2003, a sequel called Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne came out, continuing Max's story. Later in 2012, Max Payne 3 was released by Rockstar Games, bringing new action to the series. There was even a movie made in 2008 with Mark Wahlberg as a Max, Mila Kunis as Mona Sachs, though it didn't capture the game's feel as much. Exciting news came in 2022 when Remedy announced they're remaking the first 2 Max Payne games with upgraded graphics for modern consoles like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. These remakes are highly anticipated by fans, as the original game are still beloved for their story and gameplay. The new version will use Remedy's advanced Northlight engine, promising much better visuals and smoother gameplay. It is a great opportunity for new players to experience the dark, thrilling world of Max Payne, and for longtime fans to revisit the story with a fresh look. Max Payne is special because it was one of the first games to really mix storytelling with action. Now Max Payne is great, but did you know that before Max there was another game from the 90s that also had a great story and was in the third person? If not, here's a video on it. If you like what I'm doing, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching and see you another time.